name is Jessica. I'm a normal 24-year-old girl, but I'm a convicted felon. I came from a good home. I lived in a nice neighborhood, I went to good schools, but I took teenage rebellion to the next level. I got wrapped up with the wrong crowd and began experimenting with drugs, and I quickly found myself addicted. It was a direct result of my substance abuse that I became involved in illegal activities. I did what I had to support my habit. When I was 19 years old, I went to jail for the first time. It was a surreal experience because I just didn't think it was happening to me. I didn't think that I belonged there. As far as I was concerned, I was young and I was pretty and I was smart, and that just wasn't my idea of, I wasn't the idea of the kind of person who goes to jail. But I had committed a crime and I belonged there. I know when I first walked in, I didn't cry. I wasn't scared because I was really numb to what was going on around me. But by the time that they had released me into general population, I knew. Some girls were in the corner screaming, "Fresh meats!" and that was really scary for me. I didn't know if they were going to jump me or hit me or what they were going to do. They actually were kind of nice. I was the baby, obviously. I was really, really young in comparison to the other people who were in jail. But they quickly showed me how jail works, I guess. It has its own sort of politics. And I did my best to adjust despite how much denial I was in. My first time in jail, I was there for about 9.5 months. My charges, they were really serious. My minimum mandatory was 34 months of prison. I was fortunate enough that my attorney was able to work it out that I could go to a long-term rehabilitation program coupled with rehab. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to successfully complete that rehab program. However, it planted a seed for my future. I went to jail a couple times. By my second time when I went back, people knew my name, and I was greeted with warmth and love for what that's worth in jail. But it was my third stay that really kind of changed me. I was 22 years old, and I was tired. I had a chance to really look at myself. I wasn't so much in denial anymore. Here I was, 22, a college dropout, no place to live, nowhere to call home, no job, nothing to my name. I wasn't going anywhere, and that was really depressing for me, to kind of see that this pattern that was happening in my life of, just one bad decision after the other and failing to take responsibility for it. That's when, I really made this firm decision, in my heart and in my head that I needed to do things differently, and I was very willing to do things differently. When I got released from jail, I really wanted to go about it the right way. I went and searched for a job. I applied at Walgreens, Walmart, Target, McDonald's, Burger King. No one would hire me. It was really disgruntling. I mean, not that I intended to live on part-time minimum wage, but I was willing to accept that. So that was upsetting when I failed to find employment, and I wasn't going to have a place to live for much longer, and I had a little bit of money left, where I was trying to find, somewhere to rent, and no one would rent to me. Everybody wants to do a background check, and that baffled me probably the most, to have enough money for this place, and when people would find out that I was a convicted felon, they would have to turn me down. And I was afraid. I was so afraid that I was going to have to go back to my old ways, because what else am I going to do? How am I going to support myself? I couldn't even feed myself. Where was I going to live? Under a bridge, in a box? It was a little bit scary, but I reached out for help. I asked my parents for some assistance, and they helped me. They helped me amazingly. My mother gave me a place to rent. She owns a duplex and rented out one side of that duplex to me. And she helped me get a job. She put in a good word for me to some friends who owned a restaurant. And my dad helped me by taking me to 12-step meetings and introducing me to sober people who had already found a new way to live, and just helped me to surround myself with all these positive influences. I was fortunate enough to have my family's support, to help me find a job and a place to live, and just to be that positive example in my life. But what about the people who don't have a family? Who's going to help them find a job, give them a place to live? Who's going to show them, better habits and make the right decisions? Who's going to support them through those transitions? I I believe that Project 180 is onto something that can not only benefit the offender, but society as a whole. Project 180 has that ability to be the family that these offenders need, to provide them with job training, education, support network, and a structured living environment. And I believe through that rehabilitation is possible, and thus reintegration. I know that Project 180 is initially going to be a program for men, but the problems that convicted felons face are the same across the board, whether they are men or women. It's really difficult out there when no one will give you a chance, when no one will give you an opportunity, and it can be really hard. And I know for me, I felt really hopeless, and I don't wish that on anyone. I know that I took off running when someone gave me the help that I needed, and I guess in a weird way, I think I could say that I deserved, because I made it work for me. I took those opportunities, and I did something with them. And I think that anyone can if they're given a chance. There are a lot of great programs out there, but they all specialize in one thing or another. There's food assistance programs, cash assistance programs, housing programs, GED classes, vocational training. The cool thing about Project 180 is that it kind of encompasses all of these things in a long-term setting and helps to fortify that transition into everyday living. Project 180 has the ability to be the family these offenders need upon their release. I know from personal experience what's at stake. I believe in second chances, and I hope that you do too, and I urge you to support this organization in opening its doors to its residential program. Today, my life is better than I ever could have imagined thanks to the support of those around me. I'm proud to say that I'm a hardworking, sober, productive member of society. I take time to give back to those who are just like me, the ones who got lost along the way. I have the opportunity to go back into the same jail I used to be an inmate at, and I try to be there as an example to show them that you can always turn it around. Thank you for allowing me to share my story today, and we look forward to your generous support.